Now the next part of griot is rice and beans. But first you have to cook your beans. I have a bag of red kidney beans that I'm going to put in this nice pot here. And then I'm going to put water in there. And we're going to cook our beans. We're going to put them about medium heat and just let them slow cook until they're walk tender. Okay, our beans have been cooking for about 45 minutes, an hour. And I added about 20 minutes in some more water because the water reduces. Now I'm going to test the beans. They should be done. And you want them to be fork tender. So you just take a fork, stick it in there. If it goes in there easily, then your beans are done. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do with this beans is now that the beans are cooked, we're going to separate the beans from the water. And you want to keep the liquid because we're going to use that liquid to make the rice. So we're just going to use a strainer, and underneath that strainer I have a measuring cup because I want to keep my juice, and voila. Now I separated the beans from the liquid, which I will call bean juice for lack of a better term. What we're going to do now is we're going to heat up some oil in a pan. In the pan we have the beans cooking in, just a little bit of oil. And then we're going to put about 5 thinly sliced onions that have been chopped in there. We're going to saute that for a little bit. So the onion is cooking a little bit in the oil. Now I'm going to take some of the beans and put it in the pot. I used a whole bag of beans, but you don't need to use the whole bag for this recipe. You can use however much you want, and the rest you can use for salads or you can put it in chili. So I'm just going to put a little bit in here, and I'm going to save the rest. And I'm going to stir that up and let that cook. The beans and the onions were cooking for a little bit, and now I'm going to add the rice. And the type of rice that I use is a parboiled rice. I don't know why my mom always used parboiled, but she didn't use white or jasmine or anything because it adhered, the color of the bean juice adhered very nicely to parboiled rice. So do use that when you make it. And since we have 6 cups of juice, I'm going to do 3 cups of rice. So we're going to add the juice first, slowly, so you don't burn yourself. There we go. And then I'm going to add the rice. And just stir a little bit. Now I'm going to add a little parsley, if I can open that. There we go. And some salt and pepper. And a tad bit of garlic powder. I'm going to give this a stir again. Now at this point it sounds kind of gross, but there's no way you're going to be able to tell if it's seasoned correctly unless you taste the bean juice. Alright? So I'm just going to dip my spoon in here. It's a clean spoon. And I can tell by tasting that it needs a little bit more salt and pepper. So I'm going to adjust the seasonings, and I'm going to turn it down to a medium heat. And as the water evaporates, we'll add some margarine, cover it, and let it cook.